Okay, so for Christmas, you might have gotten a DJI Spark for Christmas. It's probably one of the best drones for the price that you can buy. It's supported through Wi-Fi and the OGT cable. It's probably one of the best drones in my opinion that you can buy. So just talk about some of the things when you first go ahead and set it up. So there's two ways to fly it. You can fly it wirelessly from your phone, or in my case I use a tablet in connection to the controller. However, I choose not to do that. I choose to use something called an OGT cable. Alright, so here's the cable itself. It's got a USB on one end, it's got a smaller USB on the other end, and what it does is it allows for easy connection between the tablet and the controller. Otherwise you have to do it through Wi-Fi. I find it very difficult to do this. It is something that you can do, and I have done several times. However, for the ease of access, I just use the OTG cable. Now these cables are pretty affordable. I got this one on Amazon. This brand name is Ucrit. So it's a flexible cable. I prefer these better than the solid state because they hang down. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get the cable that came with my device. So in the field, you're in a hurry, all your friends are flying, you want to get up flying as soon as you can. So what I did is I put arrows on the top of my phone cable. This is the charging cable that came with my telephone, and here's my OGT cable. So I put arrows on here so these line up very easily. So the next thing I do is I plug my phone cable into my tablet. Alright, I do not turn on or plug this in to the controller yet. We wait till it connects. So the first thing I like to do is I turn on the controller. So what you do is, here's the power button here. Alright, if you push it once and release, you should have 4 bars here for a fully charged battery. In my case, if you notice, I only have 3 lights here, which indicate that the controller is only 3/4 charged. In my experience, I can still probably get at least 5 or 6 flights out of this controller. This controller battery is very large, it lasts for a long time. However, when the controller gets down to 1 light down, I don't fly. I don't take the chance. I don't think it's worth it. So to turn on the controller, it's 1 push down and then a push and hold. You'll hear the controller beep. You'll see this red light flashing here. This red light flashing means it is not connected to the aircraft yet. Now this is after you've already done your initial setup, so the controller is already bound to the aircraft. And that's a whole nother video. So the next thing I want to do is I want to pick up my Spark. Now a couple of things I want to go over here. These are, a lot of people call them props or blades, okay? But the proper terminology is these are rotors. In the front here you have the gimbal. I don't ever touch this gimbal here. I'm very cautious with the gimbal. If you give it a little touch, it does move. It's a 2-axis gimbal. In the back you have the battery. The battery is secured with these 2 claps. You simply, I put my finger here, pull these back, give it a little wiggle, and the battery comes right off. To put the battery on, I simply set it here. I push back here. Don't push on the battery button till you hear a click. Some people utilize the battery clip. Some people do not. Apparently I don't have a battery clip in front of me. I thought I did, but I don't. So to turn this on, again, it's a 1 push. You have 4 lights for the battery. This battery is almost dead. I recently just flew with this. So it's a push and then hold. So let me turn it on now. It's a push and then push and hold. Put the aircraft down. Notice the red light on the controller is red. That means the controller is not connected to the aircraft yet. In the front of the aircraft, you see the red lights. These are indicate the front. These back lights here are flashing yellow. That means caution, there's a problem. The controller is now bound to the aircraft. You can see the bright green light. And you can see these lights back here. Now normally these would not be flashing red, they would be green. But because they're flashing red, that means my battery is almost dead. But we knew that, I showed you the light. So now since this has turned green, you have two choices. You can put a phone in here, which I don't like to do because the screen is smaller. Plus it kills my phone and then I can't talk on it. Or you can put something called a tablet mount in here. You simply slide the mount in, you take your tablet, it affixes right here on top. I've left that off today just for the mere example of the demonstration of what we're doing. So what I do now is I have my OGT cable connected to my cable arrows together. If you plug these into your controller, your tablet upside down, you're going to break the tablet or the controller. Then I take the controller here. Notice I have not hit the DJI Go app, the 4 app. When I plug this in, arrow up, plugs in on the bottom.
Low battery warning.
Okay, it's going to bring up the app automatically. It's something I don't have to do. So the screen went blank. It brings this up. Notice this is still green. It says I'm connected now. I just accidentally hit into my flight log. Let's go back. If you noticed when it first came up, a version check came up here. It wanted to check my version to make sure I was good to go. If it's not, it'll say update. Please update every time before you fly. You need Wi-Fi to update. You cannot update out in the field if you don't have Wi-Fi. Then you simply hit go fly.
Low battery.
You hear my critically low battery just went off. It doesn't like my battery low. The first warning comes up on the screen here. It always does. It says that my password for my Spark is weak. Alright, I always hit cancel on that. I've tried to change it several different times. It won't let me do that. Here it says latest firmware and there's an exclamation point here. So I click on that. It says critically low battery. It's a warning. I know that. We're not going to fly. It says I cannot take off because of that. I can't even start the motors. Okay, so that's the order. If I would want to start the motors, it's down and together, but it says critically low battery. It won't let me do that. Okay, so again, controller on first. This light here is going to flash red because it's not bound to the aircraft. Then we push, release, push and hold, turn on the aircraft. We wait for this to turn green. After this turns green, you then plug in this wire with the arrow up into the tablet. One thing I do want to point out is once you have this on, you'll see the gimbal here. You'll see the gimbal moving as I move the aircraft. It's very important you don't pick up this aircraft and flip it all over the place and move it wildly because that gimbal is going to jerk back and forth. So to turn this off, I pick it up, I hold the aircraft level. Again, push and hold. The aircraft shuts off. Again with the tablet, push and hold. The controller shuts off. Now this tablet here stays in the screen that was last seen on the aircraft. What I can do, there's several different things I can do. I can just hit end. Then I hit my little screen bars down here. This is the last program. I just close that out. Do you have to do that? No, you don't. That's just what I do. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is the DJI Spark. It's a very good aircraft. On this aircraft, I have had over about 150 flights. I would have to check my log. I have 4 batteries. My average flight time is about 11 minutes. I don't push it into the critically low battery. I don't think that's pretty smart. If you're flying inside, make sure you put the prop guards on. Let me move this stuff out of the way here. These are your prop guards that come with the Fly More package. Just like the props, okay? You got the circle, the white circle here, goes on the white circle dashed motor. No circle, no dash on this motor. So you have a white prop, black prop. When you look at these prop cards, you'll see these little snaps here. Here's a white one. Here's a black one. See black? See white? So simply, the white one goes on the white motor. White prop goes on the white prop motor. See this little latch here? What you do is you put this on here and it spins back and forth. Then you push the latch over and it snaps on. With the prop guard on, every time you add weight to your aircraft, it decreases the flight time. I don't use these when I'm flying outside. I never did. But I also had some experience before I started flying. If you don't have experience, it's a good idea. Props are about $11 per set. And every time you break a prop, you take a chance on damaging one of the motors. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Give me a call. Thank you so much, and have a great day.